Another WrestleMania weekend out of the way. There's a lot to get through. There's a lot to digest. And you're in the right place for all of that. It's the Untitled Wrestling Podcast and our review of WrestleMania, Stand and Deliver, The Collective, some Ring of Honor stuff, and everything else in between. My name's Troy, joined as always by Jay and Aaron. How the fuck are we?
Wagwan, my G.
What? That's the second time you've said that since I started this call. What have you watched Cool Runnings just once?
What's up, my dog?
Yeah. Is that because you're drinking KSI's Prime?
Yeah, the Nigerian's coming out of me. That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sat here with
Nigerian root.
got a Jamaican drink here, mate. If anyone should be saying it, it's me.
the Nigerian roots in me are coming out a bit more today. Yeah.
Have you both recovered from Mania weekend, Collective weekend?
I have, and so has my keyboard.
What's happened there? What have I missed? Did you drop something on it per chance?
Like the first night he knocked his blue drink all over it.
Oh, fuck it.
Like a full blue drink on it, as in it was bad, and we had to use a backup keyboard, which was like the size of my hand, so that was fun. Especially like getting drunk and you like had to be fragile with it.
Fuck about. Right, we've got an awful lot to get through, so let's kick straight off with WrestleMania 39, night one. This was a great night of wrestling.
Triple H was in charge.
Triple H was in charge, yeah.
Night
one for many, the best of the two. We'll get on to the second night a little later. But to run through the card for night one, so we opened up with the United States Championship match, Austin Theory against John Cena. Personally, this didn't really feel like a WrestleMania-worthy match. Like, this could have happened on Raw. There wasn't anything in there for me that made it a WrestleMania kind of moment stand out.
Yeah,
I'd say this was comfortably the worst match on the card of night one.
Yes, I would agree.
But we've had this conversation before, haven't we? Where it's John Cena's Hollywood limbs. WWE can't afford them to get hurt.
we did do a drinking competition. Drink every time Cena takes a bump.
And we only had about 8 drinks.
Yeah, there wasn't much. I still had a lot of rum left after that first match.
There wasn't a lot of drinks consumed, that's for sure.
3/4 of a can of beer after it. Furious.
I know we jumped straight into the match, but just to mention the general kind of WrestleMania stage setup, I thought it looked fucking awesome this year. Ramp, the billboard posters, like
it's the best it's been since I'd say 33.
Which one was 33? Remind me.
The roller coaster one.
Oh yeah.
I'd say it's been the best since that, definitely.
Yeah,
so.
No, it looked quality.
Yeah.
So yeah, the match, as I say, pretty bang average, weakest of the night. John Cena of all the Make-A-Wish kids was pretty cool. Like his work with them's well documented, so that was nice. But yeah, I as I say, I would have just taken this either on Raw or never.
Yeah, it's just a shame he couldn't win for the Make-A-Wish kids, eh?
Yeah.
We'll move on. The men's WrestleMania showcase match. So it was the Alpha Academy, the Viking Raiders, Ricochet and Braun Strowman, and the Street Profits. This I thought was a really, really fun match. Like just big multi-man. This definitely should have opened.
This was better than it had any fucking right to be.
Yeah. I think like all of us collectively said when we were doing our predictions for this, like we're just like, I'm not really asked about this at all. And this really surprised me. As you say, Aaron, I think this absolutely should have opened.
Yeah.
It's really fun spots in there. Everyone got the stuff in.
Yeah.
What else? I've got a few notes on that. What have we got? Oh, Gable hitting the rolling German suplex on Strowman was fucking impressive. Really, really impressive.
Angelo being a tank against Braun.
Yeah, man. The crowd went wild for that, man. That was cool. Ivar going for the moonsault, although he missed it, still looked pretty impressive. A man of that size going up for a moonsault. And there was also that pretty decent Tower of Doom spot as well, which was enjoyable.
Yeah, it wasn't just a normal Tower of Doom that you see every other multi-man match. So
we have forgotten to give these ratings. That's what we usually do for pay-per-views, isn't it? What are you giving Cena Theory? Let's quickly.
I gave it 1.5 because
One
it
and a
was
half.
stinky. It's basically wasn't a match. So
Yeah. Just one, Jay.
He's just giving it just one.
Just one.
So.
I'm going to agree with you, Aaron. I'm going to give it 1.5.
Yeah.
What about this men's Mania showcase match? Big multi-man tag. I'd give this a solid 3, I think.
I agree with you, Troy. I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
We're on the same. Yeah.
We are. Hey. Arguably one of the most talked about matches on the card on both nights, Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. Logan Paul's entrance was a la kind of Shawn Michaels coming down on the zip line. Looked kind of cool. He's also accompanied by a massive bottle of Prime, which turned out to be KSI.
Yeah, boy.
Rollins' entrance was pretty cool. He had the orchestra conductor, although a little bit that we mentioned it when watching it, the kind of piping in of that backing track was kind of very abrupt.
It killed it a bit because
they kill it a little bit.
They caught it off tune as well. It was but still a pretty cool entrance. And Rollins' gear was just fucking outrageous. It looked like a strawberry cream from a box of Quality Street.
It is.
The match itself, though, really, really good. Fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Really fun.
I said from the beginning this is probably going to be our match of Mania.
Yeah,
as much as
it was certainly up there.
Yeah,
like I say, Logan Paul continues to impress, and very much a Marmite kind of guy. I guess love him or hate him. Personally, I strongly dislike him, but there's absolutely no denying that he's taken to wrestling incredibly well. And I think putting him with someone like Seth Rollins, like kind of really shows that. And Seth can have a great match with just about anyone. But I thought that they had some really good chemistry. Like Logan Paul sold really, really well for a lot of the moves. Like his, what did he do? There was a bit where he leaped into the corner, like just a standing leap. And I think he came and did.
Yeah, he got on the top turnbuckle and then I think it was not just a moonsault.
Was it a moonsault? Yeah, it was just
yeah.
the leap, like a proper box jump to get up there was wild. But then the kind of big spot of the match came when the Prime bottle was revealed to be KSI. And I think a lot of us called it, didn't we, when we were watching it? Like, it's either going to be Jake Paul or KSI. And lo and behold, it was KSI. So he got involved.
Jake Paul isn't worth it anymore after Tommy Fury beat him.
His stock's gone down.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had that. I think Seth was on the table, wasn't he? And KSI was there kind of berating him. And just as Logan went to kind of jump off the top, I think he drunk some Prime, and as he sprayed it up in the air, that's when he dived. And as he looked up, the timing was superb. As he looked up in the air to kind of spit the water out, Rollins drags KSI onto the table, and he goes through. And there's a picture, I don't know if you've seen it, afterwards, where KSI is still in the Prime bottle, like lying on like a medic's kind of
on a stretcher.
On a stretcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really good match. Really, really good match. As you say, Aaron, like easily one of the matches of the weekend. What we saying, rating wise?
I think this is going to be my match of the both Manias, to be honest.
Really?
But I've gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
The way I see it is, it could have been worth something. It could have been for something.
Mm-hmm.
Could have put some sort of stipulation. The stipulation matches are always better than normal matches. So.
Do lose the leaves WWE, so Logan Paul, fuck off.
So you're giving it 4.
I am going to put in the £10 profit I made off the betting lords on Crypto Zoo due to Logan Paul. So I'll never see that again.
Jay, what's your rating for this match?
3.5. The only gripe I had with it was the finish felt kind of like abrupt, because it was just like they rolled Logan in, hit the stomp, and that was it. After like the table spot. But it was fun. It was entertaining. I think Seth's like incapable of having a bad match with anybody anyway, isn't he? So
yeah, absolutely.
Even if Logan was shit, he would have pulled a good match out of him. It just so happened Logan Paul's all right at the wrestling.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 3. I really enjoyed it. I think had there not been, and we'll obviously get onto that shortly, a couple of other matches on the card that for me were absolute standouts, I'd have probably rated it higher. But in turn, I'm going to be rating those higher than 3, which is why this gets a 3. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Hell of a lot of fun. Next up is the 6-woman tag, Damage Control versus Lita, Becky Lynch, and Trish Stratus. This for me was kind of down there with the Theory and Cena match.
0.5 of a star.
Yeah,
it was stinking.
There's a couple of reasons that this match kind of grated on me and why I disliked it so much. Firstly, I think the wrong people won. There was no belts on the line. I think someone like Damage Control, where like individually they're all incredibly talented, and collectively like they should be getting put over a lot more, I think, than they are. I don't think it'd have hurt for them to go over in this match. I don't think it had done the faces too much damage. There was no title on the line. If they're looking to try and protect Becky, like she doesn't have to take the pin. So I was annoyed that Damage Control didn't
win. Protecting Trish and Lita as well, because they're not going to take the pin in WrestleMania for their match back. Like that was the issue. There was too big.
There was no one on that team that feasibly could have taken the pin.
Exactly, no one was taking the pin on that.
Yeah, which again is a shame because it's disappointing that Damage Control aren't
not
there.
Even the result. Right, you go watch it back one weekend when you're I fancy pre-drinks before I go out or something. Yeah. You give yourself half an hour before you go out, right? You watch this match and you drink for every fuck up there is and every botch there is.
Oh, mate, you'd be battered before you leave the house.
You'll finish a full crate before you end up out. I fucking tell you.
Oh, man. But yeah, even the match itself was a bit disappointing. Like, Lita really feels like she's missed a few steps. She looked quite hesitant in a lot of stuff. For whatever reason, I don't know, but I think it really hurt the match. Trish, on the other hand, doesn't look like she's missed much of a step. I thought she looked pretty good. Becky
well,
is Becky.
I also didn't miss much of her areolas at some points.
Fucking hell, mate.
Am I wrong? They were hanging out.
To be fair, Natalie said exactly the same thing. She was like, it's a little bit unnecessary.
They were hanging out.
But yeah, I didn't really like this match at all, if I'm honest. Jay, any more on what we've said?
It went far too long.
Yeah.
Like if they wanted to do the match the way they did, they could have like literally done this in 5 minutes. And it would have hurt Damage Control more. But given the fact that they got squashed on the Raw after Mania and Bayley looks like she might have actually left WWE or be taking some time off. It's not like they need protecting if that's happening.
Yeah. I agree.
Crazy Uncle Vinny's fucking burying them all again.
Right. Your scores then, please, fellas.
Half a star. I've just been serious about that.
Fair enough. Jay? Just one. I agree with you. Just one. Moving on. This has had a superb build, big rivalry. Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. Father versus son, second time in Mania history. And I was racking my brains for ages who the first one, of course, it was Vince and Shane. But don't worry about that. I thought this was superb. I thought this was certainly Dom's best match to date since he debuted. Really, really, really enjoyed it. What about you guys?
I was hesitant about the match. And then I seen the promo for it. I was like, it's actually a very good promo. The build-up's been quite good, well, in the promo at least. And then it came to the match. Entrances, Rey Mysterio, pick a fucking song.
Well, he came out to fucking his own one. He came out to fucking Snoop Dogg. He came out to Eddie's one, didn't he?
Just come out to Eddie's one in the car. That's all you need to do. It'd be so much better.
I mean, it was pretty cool. I popped for hearing Snoop Dogg at a Mania and Eddie's old theme.
There's only so much Snoop Dogg you need in one weekend. I fucking tell you. We'll get onto that later.
The entrance in the car was pretty cool, and
the match was all right. But what ruined it even more?
The entrance was boss.
Yes, it was.
What ruined it even more was Sol Ruka and a fucking cinnamon.
Yes, I was going to say the cinnamon was Sol Ruka.
Like
what do you mean? It ruined it. It's not like it was branded everywhere.
The whole, yeah, it was. It was all around
Oh,
the
it was on the
ring.
ring post, wasn't it?
It was on the ring
And the-
post.
and
It
the
was on the
barriers.
barrier.
And it was on the lower thirds. Oh, God, no, it was. Oh,
the
Jesus
whole
Christ.
lighting changed because of it.
Yeah, all right. Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was like this big rivalry has been going on for 9 months, and you're doing that.
Sponsored by a cereal.
Yeah.
A literal
fair.
blood feud. And you've got fucking Sin Emoji crunch at the fucking ringside. Nick Khan's WWE, mate. That's all it is.
There were some pretty cool moments in this kind of interactions. Obviously, Dom's mum and sister were at ringside. They got a little bit of involvement there.
Will and Aaliyah were hilarious.
Um,
Absolutely howling at that.
Yeah. And then we get a couple of members of the Judgment Day come out and interfering there. We then get, I forgot to say at the start, Bad Bunny's on the Spanish commentary team. He gets involved at one point. I think, is it Priest has like a chain or something like that? And Bad Bunny comes and gets it off him.
Or the finish of the match.
Yeah. Ray takes his belt off at one point and just starts whipping Dom on the arse of it in the corner. That was also funny. There was a scatty looking bump when Ray hit the bottom rope when Dom reversed the Hurricanrana. I watched it second time again the other day with Natalie. And that was nasty. But he sold it well. We also got Legado or Latino World Order, as they now are, getting involved in the match as well. And the finish saw Ray win with them lifting him up, celebrating in the ring. But I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. What are your scores?
I think the wrong man won. Dominic should have won.
Case of the
Do you reckon?
wrong man one, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I mean,
Ray didn't need to beat Dominic. Dominic needs to beat Ray.
yeah, but he looked good losing.
Oh yeah, he looked great losing. Like as we said, it's probably the best match Dominic's had in his run.
But you feel he should have got over?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like this story's done with, though, does it?
No, it's going to Backlash. With
I mean,
Bad Bunny.
that makes sense. Yeah, I think we're getting Bad Bunny and Ray against Dom and Priest, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if we see this out till SummerSlam.
Maybe.
And I don't know, we get the rubber match, don't we?
Mate, if it was Triple H's WWE, yeah, absolutely. But well, the times they are changing.
You know, it's a Mac Militant, yeah.
So we'll probably forget about this by like Backlash.
Oh dear, oh dear. Give me your scores then before we move on, boys.
If it wasn't,
a solid 3.
I went 2.5 because everything else sort of killed it after the promo for me. So,
I'm going to give this 3 as well. Actually, a lot of 3s from me going on. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the build's been excellent. The entrances are good. The video packages, the interference from both sides, and the involvement of the family. Dom looked great. Ray sold really well for him. Like, just, yeah, it was really good. Really solid match. Moving on. SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I love this. I think initially when watching it, I think a few of us said that they felt like there was a little bit of lack of chemistry. Like it felt like they weren't quite connecting.
Nothing was happening on my screen.
Your screen froze?
I may have as well looked at my wall for most of this match.
Did you not like it at all?
I was just dull.
Really? I thought it took a while to get going, but once it did get going, it became quite enjoyable.
Yeah, but
it just took too long to get going. Yeah. That's fair enough.
What? Once Charlotte took that grotty looking German suplex and landed on her face,
yeah,
the match felt like it kind of picked up in pace, but
too little, too late.
Yeah.
Not too little, too late. I think it just took far too long to get there. Everything after that was really good, but it was just like that happened. What about 15 minutes into the match?
Yeah. They had a 20-minute match, which could have been 10, 15.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes was where it really started to actually feel like they were starting to like gel. But
yeah,
nowhere near as good as the first one, the other Mania.
No, I agree. So what was I going to say? I was going to say something. It's gone from me head. Come, that's it. There you go. That was it. So obviously the eventual winner was Rhea Ripley. Well deserved. I think we all called that. the nice little moment that we had at the end where Charlotte was smiling as she was sort of sat down under the apron, clearly like really happy for Rhea. And I think
Was it nice though?
I think it was. I think it was. It felt.
She did set, like put out a really nice tweet after. To be fair, saying like because she's taking time off, but even though she's only been back for like 3 months, she's taking time off, and she just said like, "Oh yeah, I've left the women's division in good hands."
Yeah, absolutely.
Until I decide to come and bury it again.
Verbatim, that was.
She's probably getting her nose sorted this time round.
Oh fucking hell! It reminded me a little bit of
out of it.
Yeah, just the ring burn on the nose. It reminded me very much of the Bianca and Sasha Banks match, the kind of almost passing of the torch sort of thing. And Sasha was very like pleased at the end when Bianca had won the belt. It kind of felt like that. Nice little parallels there. Yeah, absolutely. Right person won. I enjoyed the match, but to your point, Jay, I enjoyed, I think, the latter stages of the match. What are your ratings?
Probably 3 again.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it that much. 2. I just didn't.
I think 3, as I say, 3 because the last 5 minutes was really good, but everything building up to it was a bit dull.
Fair. I'm going to go right down the middle. I'm going to go 2.5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Right.
No one's put an outrageous rating for anything yet. So
fine, outrageous.
There's still time.
Next up, an impromptu match: The Miz against Pat McAfee. So The Miz was the host of WrestleMania alongside Snoop Dogg. And Snoop was there to just kind of play matchmaker, and so Pat McAfee answered the call on this occasion. It was just a stupid, funny spot that you always get at Mania. It was barely a match.
I was going to say, I've literally forgot that happened until you've just mentioned it.
Yeah. It was there. It was a thing.
I was very drunk by that time, but it's fine.
Yeah, I don't even know if we should be rating this because
that's what I'm saying.
Barely anything.
Like, do I give it a 1 star because I just don't remember anything of it, or do I give it?
It gets a star because it was Pat.
True. It gets 1.5 stars because of how over enthusiastic Michael Cole was to see Pat.
There you go.
Yeah, they got Michael Cole again.
Yeah. And finally, main event of night 1 for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships, the Usos against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Floor's yours. Chat, go.
I'm going to go first, right? Because you can do yours. I was never excited about this match.
Okay.
Even Sami Zayn versus being the headliner versus Roman Reigns, I wasn't into it at all. Like seeing the crowd hype for it was mental. Seeing like the Usos just be over as fuck for once at a WrestleMania without like Roman Reigns being just behind Roman Reigns. There was none of that. It was just them versus Owens and Zayn. It was great to see, and the match personally, it was all right. Just it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're into the story, I get why you give it a high rating. Is what I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
So,
Jay, what did you think?
I'm with Aaron on that. I feel like I've literally seen people saying that was the best, like one of the best matches they've ever seen, and I disagree because it was very repetitive at times. It was a really fun match, and it was a really good moment, and they delivered on the story, all that. But there was a lot of repetition. There was a lot of kind of like there's only so many times the Usos can hit like the double super kicks on like KO or Sammy throughout the match, or
I'm pretty sure
Like-
there was 3 Kevin Owens hot tags in this match.
Yeah, but Kevin
Yeah.
Owens does a fucking good hot tag.
But do you need 3 of them in the one match?
Sure, it's a main event. Fucking why not? Okay.
This is
Counterpoint.
why-
How often does a tag team match main event a pay-per-view, let alone a WrestleMania?
It was
in
the
WWE?
right match to close the show, given the build for it.
So why not
Like
add that heightened drama of a few hot tags? Like you get those on an episode of Raw.
Say it's not a hot tag.
Come on,
Yeah.
you know what
But
I'm getting at.
This is why I
Is that
said
it's not a hot tag?
This,
Yeah.
this
That's
is why
the
I
point.
said.
What is it?
why-
Like a Korma tag? Are we going to the curry rating scale again?
This is why I said, Troy, if you're invested in the story, I get it. I really do. That's why I'm not arguing. I'm just, that's how I feel. I just seen it as a bit of a meh match. The ending was fun. Like Sami Zayn getting the big, like after getting beaten up. I get it why loads of people thought it was fantastic. Just for me, it was I wasn't invested in it, so I didn't feel the same.
I think to your point a moment ago, Jay, like a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's best match of it, or one of the best matches I've ever seen." I can see why people are saying that, but I also disagree. I think the build has been fantastic. I thought the match delivered, and I thought the match was great. I think, and obviously I don't know exactly who these people are that are saying it, but to put it this way, if you only watch WWE, then you're probably not wrong in saying it's one of the best matches you've seen.
Yeah.
If you watch AEW, GCW, like anything else outside of that, you'd go, it was good, but it wasn't this, it wasn't that, it wasn't that. Yeah. Fine. So I think
there was better matches with like just as good story on other shows than this. Is what I'd say. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
It's not saying anything. I thought it was a really good match. I genuinely really enjoyed it.
Just a few little nuances from that match, a few little moments as well. Zayn and Owens with matching gear and the PWG logo on there, and
Kevin Owens had Super Dragon's head
on there. Really, really cool. Really nice shout. For those that don't know, PWG is Excalibur's promotion that run out of California.
Excalibur's promotion in California. Pretty much, I'd say 90% of the guys who like these WWE signed off the Indies had a stint in PWG at some point.
Like a kind of who's who, like of talent that went through there.
Yeah. It's like it was just basically like before there was NXT, there was PWG, like in a little armory in Reseda, California, where anyone in wrestling who isn't like a homegrown WWE star has been there.
Has been there, yeah. So that was cool. That was a really nice thing to see. What else have we got? Jay using the haluva kick on Zayn towards the end of the match was fucking shite. It was shite. And had it looked better, like I think we've been talking about it more. His pants are going to rip. Yeah. But just the fact that he did that though was a nice wrinkle to the story.
But here's an
Sammy brainbustering him on the apron was fantastic.
That was also delightful.
Right in front of Nick Khan as well.
And his kids.
My question was on the Zoom call, and I still stand by it. Why are we cheering for Sami Zayn haluva kicking Jey Uso 3 times when technically it was Sami that turned on Jey Uso, technically, because it was him that went away from him after hitting Roman Reigns?
He didn't turn on Jey, did he? He turned on Roman.
The way
Jey turned on Sami because he couldn't decide.
We're meant to feel, oh, Sami, go get Jey Uso. Yeah. Hit him 3 times with a haluva kick. But Jey didn't actually do anything to deserve that, really.
Yes, he did. Like the week before on Raw, where he couldn't decide, and they just boot Sami in the face.
Because he had turned his back on his brothers after not doing his job by Roman Reigns. That's where it gets funky.
It does get funky. You're not making much sense there. Anyway, I think the match was decent. I think it was one of the better ones on night one. Not the best, but certainly one of the better ones. As I said earlier, I think if you only watch WWE in a tag division that's pretty poor, this stood out as one of the best tag matches they've put on in a while. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Same.
Aaron?
I gave it 2.5.
All right. Fair dues.
It was an all right match. I can't give it worse than that. Like,
No problem.
That's
Let's
it.
move on to night 2 then. So we open with the Battle of the Goliaths.
oh,
Brock Lesnar against Omos. I mean, it was 4 and a bit minutes of Brock getting beaten on and then hitting just one F5 for the win. There isn't really much more to talk about. It wasn't a terrible match, but it's exactly what I think you'd expect. Like going into it,
would you expect to watch Brock Lesnar get beaten up for 4 minutes though? Like just because you don't expect it doesn't mean we want it either, though.
I think the point is here is to try and get Omos over, isn't it? Like to try and make him look. But the fact that he's beaten down someone like Brock, the fact that he near enough dominated Brock for most of the match, and Brock had to really dig deep to come back. If you're looking at it from that perspective, they're trying to do a good job of getting him over a bit bigger, and I think it worked.
The issue with the storyline was MVP shouting, "Oh, you can't German almost, you can't F5 almost," when we've literally seen Brock Lesnar German and F5 people like heavier than him.
Yeah.
Like,
do you know what the issue with the storyline was? There wasn't a fucking storyline.
There wasn't a storyline, yeah.
But yeah, like it was there. I don't know what was a worse opener, this or Cena in Theory.
I mean, yeah.
It depends what you prefer, I think.
I feel like we should move on because we're about to go over like longer than the fucking match itself.
Right, quickly, give me your rating.
Zero.
Whoa.
Okay.
I gave it a 1 because there was no botches involved. It was just
that's always nice.
It was just naff.
I'm gonna give it 1.5. I don't think it was a terrible match. I don't think anyone put a foot wrong, to your point about, kind of any botches. I think them getting Omos over worked, served its purpose, but there was absolutely nothing else to shout about.
You say that the next day on Raw, he didn't even have his fucking gear. He was expecting to be in catering, and then he found out he had a match.
Who?
Omos.
Did he? I've not watched it. I didn't know.
So you can't have got him over that fucking much, mate. If they weren't planning on using them until like
by the sounds of it, Raw was fucking weaker than Shane McMahon's quads. So, yeah. WrestleMania Women's Showcase match.
I couldn't fucking sleep.
WrestleMania Women's Showcase match.
This was fucking naff.
So this was the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Shotzi and Natalya versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Now, six of the 8 women in this match were really entertaining to watch. 2 of them did fuck all until they came in at the end.
So my issue with this match was it felt like the men's showcase and the women's showcase were both just lazily kind of thrown on the card matches to get people a Mania payday. At least the men's one, they were all tag teams that they've established.
Well, apart from Ricochet and Braun.
No, they've been a tag team.
I know they have.
At least, yeah.
They've been tagging together before Christmas.
Was it before Christmas? Was it that long ago?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They've at least got like
established something
run under the belt.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was Ronda and Shayna who were a tag team, and everyone else is just a thrown together tag team.
Yeah. Meh.
Why should I care?
Yeah. It's just a bit naff. And the men's was vastly superior to the women's as well.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I'll get shite for saying it.
No, not at all.
This was
it just wasn't a good match. There was no build to it. It was cobbled together. It was just I didn't care about the men's one, but it ended up surprising me and being really fun.
Yeah.
And I was hoping I'd get the same with this, and unfortunately it didn't deliver.
That's
for me, this was the most pointless match of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
There was fucking no need to do it.
I was just trying to think what else is on there. I mean,
they literally did it to get Ronda Rousey on the card.
Yeah, that was
kind of feels like that.
That's the only reason why we got this match.
Yeah.
And she did actual fuck all.
Yeah. Ratings then, boys. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm giving this a 1.
I've
literally put 1 star. as well, so we've all went the same. Like,
Hang on, remind me, which one did you give 0 to, Jay?
Brock and Omos.
So you're saying this was better than Brock and Omos?
I mean,
at least Brock and Omos, there was only 4 minutes of it.
I mean, to be fair, this only went about 9 minutes, which for a match for a tag match that features 8 people, under 10 minutes is shameful.
And it shouldn't have felt slow either. It shouldn't have felt boring.
The only reason this gets a star is because it had Shayna Baszler doing murder.
One saving grace.
It's a saving grace anytime Shayna Baszler is allowed to actually be fucking Shayna Baszler.
True.
Which, I mean, now Vinnie Mac's back. That's fucking out the window, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, let's move on to something hopefully a little bit more entertaining. The triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus the champion Gunther.
Match of the night.
Match of the night. Possibly match of the weekend.
Depends what you prefer, really.
What did WWE put on, or just in general?
No, of WrestleMania.
Yeah. I was going to say.
No, come on, mate. Fucking hell. No, definitely up there in match of the weekend, WWE-wise, and that includes your stand and deliver as well. This was exactly what everyone expected. We know that Sheamus and Drew have got great chemistry. We know that Sheamus and Gunther, have got great chemistry. We've seen that before, and it was just violent. It was just it was hard hitting. It's exactly what a triple threat should have been, like needs to be and should be. You don't typically see, or not that I can remember as of late, many triple threats featuring a kind of a caliber of guy like this. They tend to be a little bit more kind of fast paced, like slightly smaller guys. This wasn't slow, that's for sure. But it was just a real hard hitting match. Really, really enjoyable. They looked like they were genuinely enjoying just slapping the piss out of each other. There was a funny moment where Drew and Sheamus were squabbling over who got to chop Gunther next, which was quite amusing. Just really good. So much fun. Thoroughly enjoyed it. What about you guys?
Yeah, it was really hard hitting. There was some really cool spots. That one where Gunther powerbomb Drew onto Sheamus was horrific.
Yeah.
And also Gunther's chest by the end of this match was like purple as well from like all the chops that he was given.
It looked like spam.
Purple Aki.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You would have enjoyed this match if they were a bit younger.
Fucking hell. The entrance for Imperium. Now, am I wrong in saying, was that a throwback to like their ring camp days?
No, because that was black, was it not?
No, not their gear. Like the entrance where you had Ludwig Kaiser like introducing them. Because I know Cole was quite not adamant, quite vocal on commentary that entrance, the way that it was done, was a bit of a throwback. I don't know much about them prior to WWE, and I don't recall them doing anything like that in NXT. But I could be wrong. So the only thing
doing that,
yeah,
for Gunther like on SmackDown every week.
Has he?
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm not sure what Michael Cole was on about then, because he said, and that entrance was a bit of a throwback. I think
the blue gear was a bit of a like throwback to ring camp.
Okay.
Because they mainly had black gear, but they did have some blue ones at one point as well.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else to add before we wrap up our scores for this one?
That was some prime Angus beef.
Prime Angus beef. It fucking was,
Aye.
What's for tonight, Dad? Chops.
Chops.
What's your rating then?
Give this a 4.
I've put it as a 4 to be on par with Seth and Logan, I think. Like, for different reasons, but I think measuring out, it's a bit the same for me.
Yeah. I'm giving it 4.5. I think it was my favourite match of the weekend.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. I fucking loved it. I watched it second time round the other day, and it's just as fun again. Moving on, Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Both had really great entrances for this match. Bianca came out with the Divas of Compton, which was really, really fun. And Asuka came out with loads of other people dressed as her with different masks and stuff. Both really, really cool. Match itself, I thought, was really good. I think it was the better women's championship match of the two this weekend.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, I think the wrong person won.
I think this one was more 50-50 though than
it was.
Most matches.
I feel like they've put so much time and effort into like repackaging Asuka for the last couple of months.
Yeah, but like 2 nights later, Vinnie Mac was back, so it was null and void. So.
Well, this night it felt like Vinnie Mac was back.
Yeah.
Let's be honest now. More on that later. No, I feel like they've really invested since the Royal Rumble, like a lot of time in making Asuka feel like a big deal. And for someone who kind of feels like she's sort of nearing the end of a WWE career, certainly. I wouldn't necessarily say her career, but it feels like this is like kind
WWE,
a last run in WWE. I feel like it would have made sense for her to kind of have that one last run. Bianca's at the point where she's been champion that long and you don't really know what to do with her. Like she's getting dangerously close to like Roman territory with who's she going to lose the title to. I mean, obviously there's Charlotte Flair always there to just kind of knee jerk it, but like they should have had. She should have lost it to Bayley when she was feuding with her after SummerSlam. She didn't. Asuka was a perfect person too. They could have done Rhea. It's not against Bianca. I think she's a fabulous wrestler, but I feel like her reign as champion's kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit.
Okay.
Like it felt like after SummerSlam it was going stale. So now it's like let's face it, it's not the most stale fucking reign in the WWE.
Oh, no, just you fucking wait till we get to it. I spent a solid half an hour after WrestleMania contemplating everything. I was...
You ranted to me for a good 10 minutes and then went, I'm going to bed.
Right. Well, Aaron, do you want to let us know what you thought of this, and we'll quickly get through the last couple, so you can have another rant about it, because I want to hear it, mate. Everyone wants to hear it, and it's clearly a big talking point coming out of this weekend.
It's for me, this match was all right. We've seen better from both women. Personally, there was no really a story to it apart from let's fight, and that was it. So I've gave it 2.5. It's average it all around, to be honest. There wasn't a bad thing in the show. The fight, there wasn't a bad thing in the show. I've said it again. There wasn't a bad thing in the match.
Use your words, mate.
There wasn't a fantastic spot, I don't think. I don't remember any off my head anyway.
Bianca dumping Asuka with the powerbomb on the outside was rough.
I felt like there was a couple of spots they had as well where it didn't quite click.
I just think it was average. We've seen better from both of them. I had 2.5. So
yeah. There was a couple of spots that stood out which are pretty cool. As I say, there was the big powerbomb on the arena floor. Belair had a really good suplex from over the apron onto the top rope, just deadlifted her up and over, which is pretty cool.
They do a cheeky psycho driver for the boys.
And then there was the kind of struggle for control on the ropes, which ended with Asuka pulling Belair to the mat with her braid and then hit her with the code breaker. That was pretty cool. And then Asuka tried to use the mist, but she dodged it. Belair dodged it. So Belair retains. I don't know if I agree with that result or not. I think I agree with what you said there, Jay.
I think it felt like it should have been Asuka's time.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can't remember what I gave Charlotte and Rhea. I'm going to give this a 2.75.
Fucking quarter stars now. Is that what we did?
It's not a star. It's just a number, pal. I can't remember what I gave Rhea and Charlotte, but I put this slightly above it. So if I said 2.5, if I said 2.5 for that, I don't want to give this 3 because 3 puts it on par with like the men's like showcase match and Rollins and Logan that I gave a 3. So
Run it back to where Troy said at the start, "Oh, we forgot to mention our star ratings for each match."
Why? I don't understand.
Because you just said it's not stars; it's just numbers.
Well, it's because you often say stars. So I'm just like, well, I know that's your ranking system.
I'd definitely say 2.5. It was solid. It wasn't the best match on the card. It wasn't the worst by any stretch, but
wow,
fine.
What was the worst match on the card? Next up, segment
We've
with
already
The Miz.
About Brock and Omos Smith.
The Miz, Snoop Dogg, and surprise motherfucker Sweat McMahon.
5 stars because Shane blew his nails.
Well, firstly, it was his quad. Secondly,
same difference.
Don't be rating matches high because a man got injured. That's not very nice.
It's funny though, isn't it?
Like, it was funny.
It was a little bit funny, yeah.
Like father, like son.
So
but he's not as good as Vince, so he only did the one.
Hosts of WrestleMania, Miz and Snoop Dogg with another interaction. Snoop Dogg this time brings out Shane McMahon, gets a fucking monster pop. Like, people were. I don't know why, but people seem to fucking love it.
Ryan on our Discord was acting like it was the fucking Undertaker.
Well,
it was acting like it was The Rock.
Ryan did say later on, like, everyone popped when the music hit, but then everyone realized, like, wait, why am I popping?
Oh,
yeah. Wait, why am I going mad? Yeah.
So he comes down, hits the ropes, tries to do an international, catches Miz on the way, rips his quad, gets rolled out the ring. Snoop then takes matters into his own hands, drops Miz with a couple of fucking right hooks, and then delivers a people's elbow.
Snoopy the dog fucking calling spots. You'll love to see it.
I'm very undecided on what I'm rating this, by the way.
Does it rank higher than Miz and Pat?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's the funny bit with Shane.
The funny bit with Shane, Snoop called inaudible, which was fantastic.
Snoop hitting a people's elbow is the closest that those people at Mania got to see in The Rock.
Snoop going into business for himself.
Yeah, just lamping Miz and going, let me hit you with a people's elbow. And he didn't do his shitty frog splash that he did in AEW, so that's already like bonus points.
What are we giving this then before we move on? Got 2 more matches.
2.
2?
2 for the Bants.
Fucking hell. It's fucking generous.
One for Shane McMahon's quad, one for Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
One for each punch that Snoop Dogg gave the Miz.
Jesus Christ. Right, Aaron, what are you giving it?
It's more memorable than the Pat McAfee one, so I'll get 1.5.
Okay, I will agree with you. 1.5. Fuck about. Right, penultimate match, Hell in a Cell. Edge versus the Demon.
The
Demon. This was the culmination of what, a 10, 11 month feud. Hell in a Cell being used the way it should be, a feud ender. Although saying that, I still don't feel like this is over.
My gripe with this is I think WWE sort of misinterpreted this because it seemed to be a lot of the same footage with the Rey and Dom match.
Of the promos.
Yeah, it was all the same stuff. It was like, surely, like, why did you not give more time to the Rey and Dom stuff? I
mean, the stories that crossed out, they intertwined, didn't they? Because it all started from Dom initially turning on Edge and then turning on Rey. Like they're
no.
Yes, it did. It was a Clash at the Castle.
It started with Finn turning on Edge.
Yeah, technically.
No, I know that. But to Aaron's point, where you're saying, they use a lot of the same video clips. Well, because the stories are
all
parallel.
Right, got you.
Yeah. No, I know the whole thing with Edge, and that was when he turned on Raw, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and Edge was trying to sell Finn Balor crypto, and then Finn just took acceptance to it and stomped his heart out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, the match itself, it was decent. It was fairly chaotic. Had some fun-ish spots.
I felt like it was off to a good start until Finn got hurt.
Yeah, that really killed the momentum.
Because they wrapped that match up quick. Naturally, because they had to like literally staple his head in the middle of the ring.
There was also like 5 minutes of time I say wasted, but sort of being
filibuster.
No, well, 5 minutes of filibuster with Edge just taking everything up to pieces and out and stuff. But
It
also,
definitely
like,
felt like the match got cut short.
yeah, because of the five
Of
minutes
course.
of stapling Finn's head back together.
Understandably. It's a shame, like as you say, it killed the momentum because I think
Yeah.
up until that point it was good. It
And
really
Humpty
felt like it
Deep
was
back together again.
it really felt like it was building.
Drink for every demon tongue you saw.
the
Also,
end
one
shout
other
outs.
thing as
Oh, go
well,
on.
I will say is that for me, this kind of marked it down, but they were taking like spots from other Hell in a Cell matches that like there wasn't anything that was like illicitly original.
Yeah,
Except,
nothing stood out in this Hell
except
in
for
a
the
Cell
coup de
match.
grace off like that fucking
That
weird
little
platform that
platform.
just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Perfectly placed platform.
And a
Don't worry
conveniently
about
placed
it.
platform for Fergal to do a fucking coup de grace off.
But to be
But
fair, he didn't struggle to climb the cell either, which I was happy about. He didn't
yeah,
fucking take his time. He
Nah,
just
he's up there like a
ran
wee
up
chimp,
that fucking thing. Aye.
like a rat up a drain pipe.
Like that's
but
a train fight.
other than that, there was a lot of kind of like spot, like there was the kendo stick spots up from the Usos New Day match,
Oh, when he
which was
trapped him in
done
the
not,
corner.
which you could say was done better, but you could also say wasn't done better. Like there was a cool visual of Finn where he was like, because he was the demon, he was like, yeah, while I just like swatting him with a fucking cane. But at the same time, it was like, well, you could do something much more original. Like it's not like these two guys are like creatively bankrupt like other people in WWE. They're very creative guys. They could have.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's just a little gripe.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. The entrances, just to go to those quickly, were really cool. Always good to see the demon entrance. I thought it's a shame it wasn't a bit darker in the arena, but I think that's nitpicking. Like it was still just really cool to see the demon entrance and as the demon and the original music as well, not the kind of Judgment Day version that's been changed. Edge's entrance was really cool. We got to hear Slayer at Mania, which was really cool. Bit of South of Heaven, it was. And had the kind of mirrored mask skull thing on, which looked awesome, I thought. But yeah, as I say, I think there were a few kind of recycled spots in there. It wasn't really bringing anything new. Edge did hit a few little nice callback moves. So he hit an Impaler, which is Gangrel's finisher, and what was the other one?
Did Gangrel ever hit a finisher? Like he didn't win very often.
What was Christian's one? Was it the kill switch?
Yeah.
I'll switch it.
Yeah, hit that as well. Yeah, like there was a few nice little bits, but I don't know. I don't know if I think Finn should have won that or not. Like it makes sense, I guess, that Edge wins, but I think it comes into them using him as the demon. I think had he not come out as the demon, have him lose. The last two times he's used the demon on main roster, he's lost.
I think it goes back to the Ray and Dom thing where like the legend doesn't need the win that much. They're trying to start. They're invested in Judgment Day. They've been around for a year. They're about to go into a feud with Ray and Bad Bunny. Like they want to do things with them. Why not actually let them win?
Exactly. Why not have all three? Well, I'll say all three that were in competition that night go over.
Yeah, and I get Rhea won, but it almost felt like they were kind of distancing her from the Judgment Day. Whereas, why not let like Finn or Dom or both win?
Yeah.
Then it immediately establishes them as like a bigger deal as part of the feud.
Yeah. Ratings then before we jump onto the main event.
I'll give this 2.5.
I've agreed with you on this one, 2.5.
I feel if Finn hadn't, obviously Finn getting hurt, like kind of derailed the whole thing. I feel like if Finn hadn't have got hurt, this probably would have got a little bit longer and we might have got some cool things happening. But it felt like the match was only really starting to like get into its stride when Finn got hurt.
Yeah.
And then it just scuppered the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 2.5. I think, as you say, I think it was scuppered a little bit. I think there was probably a bit more to unpack there. But what happened up until that point was pretty cool. The entrances were really cool. And it was nice to see a bit of long-term storytelling. Like, this has been something that's going on for a while. It was nice to see that. It was nice to see Hell in a Cell, not a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So yeah, pretty cool. 2.5. Right, main event time. Undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes. Aaron, I'm going to come to you last because we'll talk about some bits in the match and then you can rant away. It was great. The entrances, Cody's entrance, fine. I think there might have been a little bit more pyro. Roman's entrance was really cool.
Oh, we got the Cody Vader back.
Cody Vader, man.
Sorry, I thought he had that all the time.
Cody Vader back.
No.
No.
You have to remember, I don't watch Raw or SmackDown at all. The last time I saw Cody at a pay-per-view, he also had that. So,
what, a year ago?
If
I haven't seen him on anything else.
Oh, fair.
He only used it like you haven't seen him on anything else. You put Cody versus Seth in your match of the year, pal.
Yeah, he didn't come out.
Oh, he didn't come out to that. Okay, fair enough. He didn't come out on then.
Yeah, so basically, he done it last year's Mania when he debuted, and then he done it in the night after.
Raw. He did it on Raw, didn't he? Yeah,
he did it on Raw, but then it broke, so you just seen his head.
And he looked dead sad.
And they never used it again, so...
But yeah, both entrances were pretty cool. I say Roman came out a load of pianists playing that kind of flanked him. Really, really cool. Yeah,
playing keyboards in like grand piano.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, nice moment as well when Cody entered where he gave a -1 his belt.
Yes, really, really nice. Yeah.
And then Solo took it off him later.
Little shit.
Fucking horrible bastard.
I thought
fuck Solo.
I thought the match, the in-ring stuff was great, and we will get to the result and whatnot in a moment. I thought the match itself was really, really good.
I thought it was until the last 5 minutes where there was all the fuckery and the run-ins and you could just see as soon as the run-ins started happening, it was like, all right, yeah, the writing's on the wall here. We know exactly how this is going. We were making jokes obviously throughout the night because before the show there was the news that WWE been sold came out, and it's like, well, that's Vince back and creative, and we were making all the jokes about it. And then as soon as this match happened, it was like, that's the most Vince booking of the main event of WrestleMania we could have fucking got.
Yeah, I've got it up here. I'll read it out. It'll only take a moment. I think it kind of sums everything up quite well, and then we can kind of get onto our own personal thoughts. But this is from Bleacher Report. So obviously at the end of the match, we've got Cody hitting the bionic elbow, and then the drop down uppercut, and then repeated crossroads. Looked like he was winning. Solo comes back in after being dismissed from the ring to hit a Samoan spike. Reigns then spears Rhodes. Referee counted to 3. 80,000 fans in the SoFi Stadium sat stunned in silence. Opportunities such as that that present itself to create top-tier talent and alter the course of wrestling history are fleeting. They don't come around often and must be seized when they do. WWE whiffed Sunday hard, with the life sucked out of the arena. The goodwill built by night one was gone. The most prestigious night in wrestling was suddenly defined by anger and sadness, not at Roman Reigns because he's a great heel, but because WWE managed to mess up the most obvious finish in recent memory. There's only so many times one can turn over the fans before they stop coming back. WWE skirted dangerously close with the decision to end Mania with Reigns still world champion. They've given it an A+. It says the grade may say A+, but that's merely for the in-ring content, which was near flawless, but everything else presents as one of the biggest creative misfires in WWE history. What do we think about that?
100%. Yeah.
Aaron?
What's funny? Sorry, just before Aaron goes on his fucking rant. I can see the steam building on his head. I thought I'd just let it simmer a bit more. What's funny is they've had 3 opportunities for Roman to lose the belt in the last 6 months.
They've had 2 in the last couple of months, haven't they?
They had where and not necessarily the time, but where the crowd would have reacted fucking nuclear, and it would have been a massive moment. Yeah. They had Drew at Clash in the Castle, they had Sammy in Montreal, and they had Cody at Mania.
Yeah.
and every single one, lol, Roman wins. It's getting to a point where obviously he's like 2 months off 1,000 days, and that's what they've kind of got the tunnel vision on. But it's getting to the point now where everyone's fucking fed up of it. Like, there's heat, and then there's just stagnation.
Yeah,
and it's not heat.
It's gone past the heat, isn't it? It's just
stale.
Yeah.
Go on, Aaron.
Hang on, before you rant, give us your scores first, and then the floor's yours. So scores for the match, not the fuckery result, but the match itself.
For the same,
or maybe the result.
Kind of sentiments same kind of sentiment of Bleacher Report. I'd give it. I wouldn't give it a A+, but I'd say probably a 4 because the match up until everyone started coming in and interfering was great.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. And if they had have done Roman versus Cody, no fucking around whatsoever, I honestly think we probably would have all had it in our match of the year.
Yeah. But the finish, the result hurt it so much. Yeah. Aaron, go on then, Petal.
3 out of 5 I gave it.
Okay.
I wanted to give it more because it was a fantastic. The match is how it should have been. The whole time up until the Usos came out, because Cody was overcoming all the odds.
Yeah.
He would get beat down again. He would be one step away, then bang, someone else hits him. Something else would happen to him. He'd get battered again. He'd fight back again. That's what you wanted, babyface power up.
Yeah.
I say that as I moaned about Kevin Owens doing it in the night before his main event, but don't worry about that. It's fine. Cody Rhodes fires up, and then he gets battered fucking as there's a ref bump. The Usos come out. Fair enough. We get it. It's overcoming the odds again. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out. That's fine. That's fine. They fight the Usos away. That's perfect. I'm happy with that. As soon as Kevin Owens stunnered Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn done the haluva on him, it sort of hit me down a bit. It started to go downhill for there.
Okay.
Because Cody needed to beat Roman Reigns fair and square. Not anyone else hitting Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Just him.
Yeah.
He didn't need that. And even then, Roman Reigns still kicked out, which was annoying. So how are you meant to beat this fucking boy? Right? I'll fucking tell you how you should have done it. No one hit him, just 3 crossroads in a row. Bang, 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 1, 2, 3. Everyone would have fucking loved it. That's how it should have been. But no, we get more silly spots where Cody Rhodes gets beat up again, but then Paul Heyman stops him. Which is fine. You could have done that before the stoppage. It's fine. And then the other fuck up was what happened at the end to kill it. I can't remember. I'm on a tangent.
Solo.
It was Solo with the Samoan spike.
Solo again with the Samoan spike. But Cody should have kicked out of that. Cody should have kicked out at the end. Yeah. And everyone would have went fucking mad.
You've just seen Roman defy the odds kicking out the stunner and the haluva kick.
Yeah.
Why not have Cody kick out of the... Yeah.
And also Roman only hit 2 spears the entire match.
The only time this reign should be broken is at WrestleMania because it's such a long reign. He's so undefeated. What, are we going to wait another year? And in this other year, who's going to beat him? And at what pay-per-view? What, Bad Bunny again in Puerto Rico? Fuck off. Drew McIntyre in fucking the UK? We've already had that. Didn't work. Well, it could have worked, but you butchered that too. So then you had Roman Reigns just hit the spear, like one spear, not like multiple at the end, just the one.
I mean,
that was it.
I get that, because normally you said he usually hits a few, doesn't he? It's kind of nice to see him hit to win it with just one, because we've seen in matches before he's hits 4 or 5 and it just becomes like a super kick. It's just another move, isn't it? So to see him win it using a minimal amount isn't necessarily a bad thing.
But that being said,
with these circumstances, yes, I get you.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been necessarily been a bad thing if Cody hadn't have spammed the crossroads on Roman so much. Because all of a sudden it then devalues the crossroads and makes the spear look like it's fucking 10 times better than the crossroads.
Not that Cody didn't spam it before coming back to WWE, but as soon as he hit that 3 in a row, it was always over. That was it. As soon as he hit the 3 in a row, that was done. that didn't happen because Roman Reigns, lol. And then you've just sort of got we have Roman Reigns as a champion because one, Vinnie Mac's in charge, and two, we're making him hold a record that he's never going to get first place in. And
True.
for what reason?
Yeah, he's never getting near fucking. Is it San Martino that's got the record?
Just a pass.
If he holds it,
days, right? To pass 1,000 days in a sport that is fucking scripted.
if he holds it to
we lost that big, massive, feel-good moment that was a year in the fucking living. As soon as he came back to Mania last year, we knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ryan went, oh, The Rock's coming back. Get in the bin, you fucking tube. I'm sorry. Everyone was there for Cody to win. Everyone, even though, like, everyone not in America takes a piss at him. Like, he knows how to be a babyface, regardless. And that was the biggest babyface moment you could have had, and probably
shit the bed.
Since WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan was the last time as big a moment. You could have had that again 9 years later, but you just threw it away for a shitty record that no one actually gives a monkeys about.
Well, I think he'll become the third longest reigning if he holds it to Mania 40. He'll be home.
No one remembers third place.
No
one remembers second.
He's already doubled the old record of like the modern era one, which was Punk's of like 434 days.
Yeah.
So it's not even like, oh yeah, he needs to be the longest in modern era because he's fucking twatted that.
He's already done it.
Never getting beaten.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. It's one thing as well, just because I remember you when we were talking about this last year when Cody came back, and we were like, they can't fuck up the first person to have jumped ship from AEW. They can't have them like look like the grass isn't greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And then this happens, and it's like, well, you might get to the main event at WrestleMania,
but you ain't
we're not going to
it.
trust you to be the top guy, but you might get there.
As long as Roman's about. Yeah. Right. We rattled on about that, but that's fine. We didn't tell it to.
I'm fizzing. I hate it so much.
We knew that was going to be a big talking point. Very, very quickly, this story I don't think is over. Do we see Cody maybe winning Money in the Bank? Is that his way back into it? Or does
because he's stuck in a rivalry with Lesnar now.
True. Yeah. I was going to ask, and that's only because I spoke to someone earlier and they brought up that point. Maybe he could win it. But I feel like that dilutes everything else. Like, why have him win it as a result of a cash-in when the moment was there that had been built to? He won the Rumble. That's the payoff for that.
No, they did the thing on Raw where Cody was like rematch and Roman kind of like shit himself out of it and like got around it. I think they can do a compelling enough story where Cody can just keep demanding a rematch, and then eventually Roman's like, all right, well, these are the terms. However,
it's not at WrestleMania.
The ship has already
at WrestleMania.
Exactly, that's the thing. He just said the ship's already sailed.
It's not. Yeah. It's not going to be as good. It's not going to be. This reign should finish at WrestleMania, and the fact that we're probably going to have to wait another year makes me depressed.
Are you excited for Braun Breaker to beat Roman?
Right. Here's a question for you, Tay. Right, since Roman Reigns is still champ, Cody's now in a feud with Brock Lesnar, like since the night after Mania.
I know what you're going to ask.
What's Roman Reigns doing?
Take some time off, will he?
Apparently he's taking time off till after SummerSlam, mate.
Oh, so he's doing the Brock Lesnar is what you're telling me, and we've got no main champ for 6 months.
Yeah.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Heyman joked about that as well on Raw, where like Roman was like, did you know he was going to be here? He was like, no, it's the night after WrestleMania. Like, Brock usually has a match at Mania, and then we don't see him for 6 months.
It's fucking best, man.
Oh, man. Oh. Right. I can't remember if I've given my score for this. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. Basically, for all the reasons we've spoken there. It'd probably gone higher had the result been different and there'd been a little less fuckery in the last 5 minutes.
The fuckery was fine. That's not my issue. It was the certain elements of it.
Yeah, I'm with you with like the Kevin and Sammy should not have got involved at all.
They should have just fought those away, and that was it. Yeah,
they didn't need to hit Roman with their finishes.
That's just made Cody look even shitter.
So, what was your overall score for? Do you want to do an overall score for night 1 and night 2, or an overall Mania score for both nights? I think I'm happy to give an overall score for both nights, but it's up to you guys. I can give one for individual if you prefer.
For both, so
you are.
I have you covered for both, so take your pick.
Okay, what do you want to do, Jay?
I'm easy.
All right, fuck it. I'll give it an overall score. I think I'm going to give it an 8. I think there was some stinkers on there, but I think what was good was very good. So Roman and Cody, despite the result, the men's triple threat, really, really good. Actually, do you know what? I'm taking it back. I'm giving it 7.5. I'm flicking back through it again and going, do you know what? Yeah, 7.5.
I'm going to give it 6.5.
Okay.
I thought night 1 was really strong. I thought night 2 had 2 good matches, and everything else was either okay or shite.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Aaron?
My average for both nights altogether results in 2.25 stars.
Hang on, out of 10.
Out of 10, so it's like yeah, just under 5. 4.75, yeah.
Fucking hell. Excellent.
It's an average
stuff.
rating. There you go.
Fair. All right. Well, the numbers don't lie.
That was
and they spell
disaster
for you.
That was with 2 4-star matches there as well.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let us know what you thought of Mania. Let us know if you agree with us or not. We're going to very quickly breeze through NXT Stand and Deliver, and then we're going to give some good time to the collective because there's a lot of that to get through. So NXT Stand and Deliver took place on the Saturday night before WrestleMania Night 1. It featured 7 matches. We had the Fight for the University match, which is Chase U and fucking what's his name?
Schism. It was stinking.
No. It was in Chase U and it was Tyler Bate. Sorry, yes. Against the Schism. I didn't actually watch that because I didn't realize it was on the pre-show.
I can tell you that it was your typical 8-man tag. They done a Duke Fudson fake turn, which was quite amusing for a minute, and that was it.
Okay. Chase U defeated the Schism by pinfall to regain control of the university. As I say, I didn't watch that match, so I can't give a rating on it. Jay, did you watch that?
Nope.
No, cool. Right. Opening match of the main show was the ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship, which saw Roxanne Perez, the champion, against Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria, and Indy Hartwell. This was fun. I really, really enjoyed this. Ladder matches are more often than not very fun. I think this had some pretty cool spots in it. The finish came with Indy Hartwell attempting to climb up, not having the strength to climb up, and then from out of nowhere, Dexter Lumis comes up, pops her up on his shoulders, and helps her to climb and retrieve the championship. I'm surprised to see Roxanne Perez lose so early in her reign, though.
She wasn't even meant to be in the match.
Well, there's that. That's another story, isn't it? Because she was out injured.
I would have been more annoyed if she just came back and won the match. Like, so that whole point would have been. I mean, the whole point is still pointless, but never mind. But Indy Hartwell winning doesn't sell it for me. She was never over. She was with the way, but in 2.0...
I think that ship sailed, though, didn't it? I think they probably should have put it on her a little earlier.
In 2.0, it's at this point, shouldn't have hammed.
It's not 2.0 anymore, mate.
I mean, come on now. Have you seen all of the roster?
It's not though, is it? It's not branded as 2.0 anymore.
You tell that to you tell that to those colourful titles.
Fightful's review of NXT this week was the 2.0 era's back.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I personally enjoyed the ladder match. Jay, what did you think of it?
Yeah, that was fun. It was fine. Well, wasn't the best ladder match of the weekend. There was a couple. It was fine.
Do you feel like the right person won in Indy Hartwell?
No. I thought, who did I have in predictions?
I don't even have the thing with me.
I
I
can't
think
remember.
I think I got Gigi Dole, and she should have won because I had her in predictions.
Yeah, but I fucking said to you about JC Jane, and you didn't listen to me. So
Yeah,
I
if
said
she-
that, and Jay was like, "No, she's injured. She's put a picture on Instagram. They wouldn't normally do that if it wasn't a legitimate injury." And I was like, "I said it as well. I think we both said it."
I was trying to convince myself.
Don't
worry about it.
uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really invested in NXT. I only watched it because it was on.
because I did.
Because Aaron did, yeah.
I'm going to give that 2.5. I thought it was
either that
decent.
or watch Big Gay Brunch. No, thank you.
Yeah, no thanks.
2.5 for that from me. Next up, NXT Tag Team Championships. The champions Gallus defend against the Creed brothers and the family, which consists of Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. What?
I don't remember much of this. I'm being honest.
It was all right. The highlight. You are sorry.
I don't remember this at all.
This match is lost on me.
I think I've gone to get me tea out the oven or something.
The talking point of this is that Joe Coffey came back to help Gallus retain.
I remember that.
I think, yeah. It was all right. I'm going to give it 2.
I've gave it a 2.
Yeah.
I was being generous. I can't remember anything yet. So
Jay?
Pass. I don't.
I have no bad things to say about it, so I can't give it a 1.
Excellent. Next up, NXT North American Championship. The champion Wesley defending against JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, Axiom, and Dragon Lee. I'll say it now. This was
match.
Yeah.
Say again.
When did this not become a ladder match?
It was supposed to. I'm sure it was supposed to be.
It was because it was.
I mean, it was fun as a scramble, but
yeah.
It was really cool.
I thought this was the best match on the NXT card.
Yeah.
Everyone in this looked fucking awesome. I thought Axiom looked really, really good in this. I wasn't familiar with Dragon Lee prior to NXT. I know you guys are. It's the younger brother of Roosh, is it?
Yeah.
He's the middle brother of
the
brothers.
Okay.
The list that goes the youngest.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with his work before. Really, really impressive. I just thought it was great. Really, really fun. And I wasn't really buying into Wesley as North American champion that much for a while. I think me and you, Aaron, said that.
He's been stale for a while.
Pretty stale. But this is cool. I think he in this allowed everyone else to kind of shine a bit more. But whilst I didn't choose him to win, I think him retaining does him better in the long run, like coming off the back of this. When you see how much talent was in there and how good everyone was, him coming out of that still as the winner, I think puts a little bit more stock in him.
It just depends what they do with him next is the issue.
Yeah, true. Ratings for this match, boys.
I'd have had Ilya win and go MK Ultra on everyone. I'll give this a 3.5. That was awesome.
I give it a 3, so...
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. 3.5. Really, really fun match. The Unstanchion match: Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller.
I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
this was actually surprisingly fun. I say surprisingly, you've got Johnny Gargano in there.
Yeah, you say surprising, like Grayson Waller isn't capable of having a decent match. Like he's a really good heel. Yeah. I think he's decent in ring. Like
I think he just leaves a sour taste in my mouth now, but that's fine.
Why? Because he killed the NXT's podcast.
Yeah, there's a lot of massive spots in there. That was definitely match of the show for me. Anyway,
yeah.
Look at Grayson Waller's back, eh?
Aye. We had Candice LeRae at ringside with a little baby Quill. She got involved at some point, twatting Waller about with the kendo sticks.
It was her that done his back.
Yeah, which looks fucking horrible.
The kendo stick broke while she was whacking him and just proceeded to continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think... Do you think the right person... So, Johnny Gargano won by submission. Do we think the right person won here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Gargano's the main...
so unimportant since he came back.
Mm-hmm.
Gargano's the main star here. not just because of that, but Gargano needed to put Waller in his place after when he left NXT. It was Waller just kicking him out of NXT, battering him. So it all made sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's face it, they weren't going to do Waller versus the half-ball kid, were they?
Versus the what?
The half-ball kid.
There was a really lovely moment at the end where we got a reunion with the Way. We had Gargano, LeRae, Hartwell, and Loomis all up on the stage, which was really
man is theory, but don't worry about it. He's not allowed near kids.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's not allowed near Mr. Gargano's child.
Jesus fucking Christ! Right, what's your rating for the match?
I'll give this a 3.5 again.
Yeah, I would give it 3.5 also.
I've gave it 3.5.
Nice, unanimous, good stuff. Moving on, NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Tori Stronghold, Fallon Henley, and Tri Cornpipe, Kiana James. There you go, little NXT podcast reference for you. Versus Scottish Raj ladies, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Sorry, Alba Fire, but this was depressing to watch.
It's fucking garbage.
It was fun. After that unsanctioned match, that was it. This was the show that I thought was paced so weirdly.
Oh, the show was paced terribly.
The show was weirdly paced, and having this match in the middle was just. It was a piss break match. You could tell it was a piss break match.
It wasn't in the middle, was it? It was the penultimate match. It wasn't even in the middle.
Yeah, it was piss break before the main event.
It was piss break before the main event.
Yeah.
Grab a beer because you're going to be having a great time for the main event.
That's what I did.
I think the right people won, though. At least now, like, if I know that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn have only been together, like, for a small amount of time, but they feel more like a legitimate tag team than I think many other tag teams do.
They both share the same nationality, so it's fine.
Sure.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw all the Jamaicans together sometimes, yeah.
Do they? What? Kofi and who?
I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this stank. This was a stinker. This gets a oneer for me.
One.
And I'm only giving it a one. I'm only giving it a one just because I think the right people won. I like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and hopefully.
I feel like I'm being generous giving it a one there.
Moving on, last match off the card, NXT Championship, Bron Breakker champion against Carmelo Hayes. What do you reckon? I thought this was a fairly weak championship match, actually.
Even the storyline going into it was weak.
Yeah, I wasn't into this.
Grayson Waller should have won the title.
Yeah, that's an argument that I probably agree with.
The storyline was there, and a month later we've got, I'm better than you. I've been calling myself the A-champ, so I'm going to be the A-champ. That's literally what this rivalry was.
Yeah. And he did a double turn on NXT this week. Why didn't he just do it on the show?
Exactly. I thought it was all right. It just felt very formulaic. It felt like just something I'd watch on NXT, not a pay-per-view level match.
I love Carmelo Hayes. I thought this was shit.
Yes. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was shit, but I think it wasn't a standout. Average. It was fairly average.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. It was shit for him.
The issue is most NXT specials, what I've noticed is that Bron Breakker's always on last. He's a champ. I get it. But usually there's a match before it that stands out far more than Bron Breakker. I'm not the tag team match. We'll pretend that didn't happen, right? The women's tag match. But before that, you had the Grayson Waller and Gargano match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that stood far more than every other match on this show.
Yeah.
Like, for me anyway. And just to have this as the main event after, having a piss break match and not going for a piss, sadly. This. Like, this is meant to be our... This is meant to be our fantastic main event. It was just...
Yeah. I think, for me as well, partly what hurt this was the finish. So, as I said, I thought it was pretty formulaic, but it required Carmelo to cheat to win. And I think if he's going to win and take the title, like, once Trick was ejected, that should have been it. Like it was very much like the Mania main event where it's like Solo's ejected. Oh, he's back again to cause fuckery. Like I think Carmella's win would have felt a little bit more impactful had that not happened. But by the by, I'm going to give that. What have you given your ratings yet?
No, 2.5 average.
I give it 2.
I will give it 2.5.
Yeah.
Average match, but the right person won, which is why I'm giving it the half. Oh, or do you want to give your rating? Sorry, for Stand and Deliver. I'm giving it a 5. 5.5.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Look at these fucking points here.
5 when it was good. It was pretty good. When it was bad, it was piss poor.
And unfortunately, there was more piss poor than it was good.
Sadly,
yeah.
It was three really good matches.
Yeah, I've average now. It comes up to 5. So my ratings dictate that NXT was better than WrestleMania.
Jesus Christ!
There you go. Well done, NXT. Well done.
Is that enough to reinstate the podcast?
By a quarter star NXT. Well, a quarter rating. NXT is better.
Right. That's everything WWE. Right, folks. GCW's Collective. For those that don't know, very quickly, one of you give people a summary of the Collective, because I was only introduced to it last year and it made Mania weekend for me. I think last year, certainly, I watched more Collective than I did anything else. It was superb. Sum up for anyone listening that may not know what that is.
This is like the 4th year I've took days off for the Collective. And for the first time in 4 years, I've not had to pay 150 quid for the Collective because it's on 5 Plus. You pay a $5 a month to get everything. It was fantastic.
It's gone up to £8 now, but
that's still an absolute steal.
For what was 10 shows.
Yeah, considering last year it was like 120 quid. I end up splitting it with like a few people. And this year I was like, yeah, use me logging, it's fine. It's essentially kind of like a smorgasbord of just really good wrestling. Like every show's kind of got a theme. So there was like the World on Lucha that just focused predominantly on Lucha Libre. There's Spring Break, which is this year it was a bit different because it was just they just wanted to put on bangers, didn't they? As opposed to normally it's a little bit more silly. This year it was like, no, we're going to go for like show of the weekend.
You say that as the opening match was a ladder match where it was pinfalls and submissions only, but it's fine.
They had GCW and DDT doing some shows together, which
that opened my eyes to some fun things. I fucking tell you.
I think Ryan had the fucking awakening there, mate. There's Bloodsport, which is like an MMA themed show, which is fucking unreal. Always one of my favorite shows of the year. Emo Fight they had this year, which was fun because it was just felt more kind of like Spring Break in the sort of like silliness factor of things where they were just joking around. And Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F, which was a showcase of young and up and coming talent, including Jimmy Lloyd versus a 15-year-old boy,
which was
which he nearly fucking ended the life of with a package power driver at one point.
You've also got For the Culture as well.
Yeah, For the Culture, which is basically mainly black talent, but obviously just generally like sort of underrepresented talent. Man
like Doris was on there this year.
Yeah. He was.
Yes, lad.
Big Gay Brunch.
And Big Gay Brunch, which is, again, highlights LGBTQ talent. Unfortunately, the 2 shows I haven't watched yet, which I'm going to try and get to this week, are For the Culture and Big Gay Brunch, just because of the timing of them. Big Gay Brunch on the same time as NXT. We were already watching NXT, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll get back to that. Oh, yeah. And For the Culture was like 8 a.m. on Friday morning when me and Aaron were like dead. From
already 12 hours into it.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
That was like the 4th show. We'd been drinking all night. And it was like, yeah, we're not staying up for this. we barely made it through the DDT show before. Yeah. Like we struggled with that. So yeah, it was just one of them. But yeah, we've kind of between the two of us, we've sort of picked some of the standouts, haven't we, mate?
Yeah. There's one at the end that's missing. I forgot to write down, but we'll talk about it because it's for good reason.
I feel like I know what it is.
We'll get there. Right.
Yeah.
You go first, darling.
Should we start with Bloodsport?
You do your favourite match of Bloodsport. I'll do mine.
Okay.
There you go.
Mine was the main event, which was Timothy Thatcher versus Josh Barnett. For anyone who doesn't know, Josh Barnett, he's kind of like the curator of Bloodsport. He's a former UFC champion.
Except Matt Riddle done the first one, but don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, well, basically Matt Riddle did the first one, and then he got signed by WWE, and Josh Barnett kind of took over the concept. He usually main events against somebody who's like gonna be a fucking challenge for him. Last year he wrestled Jonah. The year before it was Mox. Normally he wins, so we were kind of just like, this will be nice. This year he fought Timothy Thatcher, and Timothy Thatcher took his fucking kneecap as a souvenir. He got him in one of the grottiest fucking heel hooks I've ever seen in my life, and Barnett tapped out. Timothy Thatcher's from California, so it was like he had the hometown crowd.
Yeah.
Everyone was rooting for Thatcher, and he was kind of like toying. He was like a lion playing with his food for most of this. Like he was like getting Josh Barnett and holds and like posing as he was doing it.
Barnett just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, Barnett would like reverse it, and then Thatcher would reverse it again and be like, "Hey!" And by the end, like there was a really cool shot of Thatcher celebrating, getting a standing ovation. It looked like he was like a fucking gladiator in a Roman Colosseum, just stood in the middle of the Ukrainian Cultural Center with people going, "Tim, Tim, 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 Tim."
Nice.
It was so fucking stiff as well. Like it was just awesome.
Sweet. I will check that out.
Yeah,
big fan of Bloodsport. I watched all of last year's, and I think we might have watched either the year before or one from a couple of years ago.
We definitely had a Zoom call. We definitely had a Zoom call for it.
Yeah. So. Me and you watched the random one, and yours didn't we as well?
Yeah.
This was, I think this was my favorite match from all of Bloodsport. There was a couple of really good matches that stood out.
My one, we're going to
including this one.
We're going to the man that came back from contract disputes with New Japan after, 14 months, 16 months? 16 months it would be.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. There you go. Of just nothing. And then he shows up and then kneecaps fucking Speedball in the face like it's nothing. To be fair, yeah, the Speedball and Kota Ibushi, those two names, when you see them against each other, you go, oh, fuck. And Bloodsport environment, it was fucking fantastic.
They held nothing back.
Yeah. Stiff kicks constantly by both of them.
Minutes in, Kota took that grotty bump on his fucking shoulder on the apron.
Yeah.
And like the shoulder he injured as well. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Kota, you lunatic?
Yeah. Basically, the finish is as horrible as I made it sound.
It was one of the nastiest Kamigoyes I've ever fucking seen.
Like, he basically just stood up in the ring, just called for a knockout, and it's not actually very often we get a knockout on Bloodsport.
An actual knockout.
There was only one other knockout, wasn't there? And that was like the first match where Jeff Cobb like did a murder.
Yeah, the Scottish guy. Even there, it wasn't a knockout because he sort of rolled a bit in that, but Speedball was actually lying on the floor.
He hit a tour of the islands and then just forearmed him repeatedly in the back of the head.
Yeah. Speedball got kneed in the head and literally laid on the floor for a while.
Speedball got kneed in the face, and then Kota Ibushi stood up and wiped part of Speedball's face off his knee.
It was so beautiful.
Fucking fantastic.
And also,
I might have to go and rewatch Bloodsport because it was a great show.
Shout out to Ryan, because after the show, Ryan was standing outside and he was mid conversation with us in the Zoom call. And then whilst we were still talking, he went, "Oh, can you join me for a picture?" And we didn't even realize that he was talking to somebody else. And then next thing you know, Bushy assumes it's on the Zoom call.
I thought it was gonna just be like someone like from the undercard or something. The way he said, he's like, "Oh, hey, can I get a picture?" And then like he just turns his phone and he's just stubbed the Kota Ibushi, and we're all like, "Holy shit!" And Kota just like giggled and ran away. Didn't even get a picture. We didn't even get a screen grab.
My missus was not happy.
And this is why you record all of your Zoom calls.
Screamed the house down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a banging match. Should we talk about Kota's other match while we're on the subject of him?
Yeah.
As he had an absolute bloodbath with Joey Janela, which was me and you were both kind of worried about this match because Joey said he was going to have a wrestling match, and Joey's good, but he can sometimes like get a bit long in the tooth when he's doing these matches. They're almost like a bit of a vanity project.
When he wants to show he can wrestle, he makes sure he's wrestling, and it's very methodical and slowly paced.
This wasn't that.
No.
Very early on, Kota thrown Joey into the ring post, and Joey got bust open hard way and was pissing blood. Like to the point where he had like a thick like film of blood on his face.
Yeah, it was a dark color.
It was Did Kota do a Spanish fly or something off the apron through a door?
Yeah.
On Joe? Well,
yep.
And like he just missed the fucking door.
Yeah. There's a lot of grottiness, and for a weekend that didn't have deathmatch shows, there was a few things over the weekend that were like fair enough. There's no barbed wire or glass. Well, there was in some cases. There was tubes, but holy shit.
Yeah. This was just great though. It was really good. It was a very sort of gritty wrestling match, wasn't it? Is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Felt like a traditional GCW match, but also it felt like Kota put his own kind of lick of paint on it. And
literally, because Kota was in the match, it made it like be better. So
and then Janela had that really cool speech at the end where he was like saying how he kind of said thanks to AW and Tony Khan because they give him a bit of a kick up the arse to like come back to the Indies and be a better wrestler because he felt like he squandered his time there.
Oh, fair.
He basically said that Kota Ibushi is going to show up in AEW at some point. If only there was some kind of major announcement that we were getting. Yeah. Well, it was very fun. I really enjoyed that. Watch it. Just go watch Spring Break. Spring Break was one of the better shows by far.
I was very drunk on Spring Break, so I do need to rewatch it again sober. Because I was
we were a bit like
we were fucked.
we were in the deep water, weren't we, at that point?
I'm pretty sure that it was drinking games for like every time there's a flip in a Vikingo match and all that.
Vikingo and Speedball, that was, mate.
that did not go well.
We decided to drink every time there was a flip in that match. Should we talk about that?
Yeah. Oh, our segues are fantastic.
Yeah. Absolute dream match. Two of the best high flyers in the world right now are Vikingo and Speedball Mike Bailey. Vikingo's like a fucking human cheat code, isn't he? He does things that shouldn't be possible, but he does it effortlessly. This was a bit more kind of there was I wouldn't say blown spots, but there was like a few spots where like it didn't quite click, but then Speedball was working really heel, so he kind of made it work.
Yeah.
He also had Jin Kazama gear, which was fucking badass.
Nice.
Yeah. This was fun. I felt like the crowd kind of didn't cooperate at times as well. Like there was a bit where Speedball was like trying to clear the crowd, and there was just like three people just sat in a fucking chair, just looking at him like dickheads. And he just kind of like went fuck you and just went and like did a murder on Vikingo.
There's a few times where the crowd just weren't listening. Like not even just in the show. It's like get a grip. Like yes, you've paid your ticket for your seat, but do you want to get injured? You want to have a man literally headbutt you whilst he's like diving through the ropes at say 10 miles per hour, and he goes head first into your face. No, I didn't think so.
No,
So
but
get to fuck.
Aye.
But yeah, anytime these two in the ring with one another, it's going to be special. Anytime these two are in the ring, full stop, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be special.
After this match on Spring Break, I was gone. There was too many flips. Like this was the match that made me spew this weekend.
To be fair, you couldn't get your beer open, so you'd stocked up on flip drinks.
I had to do like a full drink and a one.
You had to do an entire bottle of beer.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, flippy boys for the win. We've got one more match on Spring Break. Should we cover that one?
Yeah. Just keep Spring Break together.
Oh no, there's two. Sorry, my bad. Let's do the tag titles match because we can go to the mad one after.
Yeah, boy.
So tag titles, East West Express, the team of Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne versus the Motor City Machine Guns. This was a fucking banger. So earlier in the day at the DDT vs GCW show, which we'll talk about in a little bit, Nick Wayne had got like bust open and like his eye, like just a freak accident. In this match, Alex Shelley had zero chill and just opened him up immediately.
Christ.
Basically pulled his stitches out and just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, Nick Wayne was literally pissing blood everywhere the whole match.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns were working really heel, which is rare because they're not a heel. They're like one of those babyface teams around. But I think they kind of knew because they're like...
It worked, yeah.
Yeah, because they're like the veterans and because East West Express was so over, there was no way they were getting cheered. And it ended up in new GCW tag champions. East West Express won the tag titles. You'll love to see it.
Nice.
To be fair, I don't think Motor City Machine Guns could have held them for long regardless anyway, just with them being so in demand all the time. Like, even at their age, you're always seeing them dottering about in every company possible.
Yeah.
Are they signed to Impact or are they independent? Are they free?
Independent, I think.
They
go everywhere else.
They work for Impact, but they're independent.
I
think they do like pair appearance for Impact.
Oh, okay.
They're literally everywhere else all the time. So
yeah, isn't Alex Shelley like a physiotherapist as well?
Yeah, physiotherapist.
He's like got like a real well-paying job.
He still wrestles, yeah.
Every weekend he just decides to go and murder people with some fucking ludicrous move. Train Jay White.
Nice. What else you got from Spring Break?
The only time Ali Cacho put on a good match.
Wow.
Wow.
Brent. Oh, hold on. What about Bussy versus Pheromones? We didn't put it on the list.
Well, because there's a better Pheromones match. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Mackie Death Kill versus Bussy. The story going into this, there wasn't really a story. It was Mackie Ito wants to get into fucking...
Mackie Ito's part is now gang affiliated. She's part of the MDK gang.
Yeah.
She's not had a tag match with Nick Gage. So Nick Gage said, let's do an open challenge. Bussy answered that challenge. And Effie was a fucking bloody mess by the end of it.
Ali Catch was bleeding. Effie was bleeding.
Mackie was bleeding. Everyone but Nick Gage was bleeding, funnily enough.
Weirdly, yeah. Pizza cutters galore.
There was a really good bit where Bussy like kind of turned heel, where like Mackie was about to do the pizza cutter on Ali, and then Effie just intercepted her and started like took the cutter off her and just started like carving her up with it. And to see Mackie Ito like crying with blood pouring down her face as Effie's like cutting at her with a pizza cutter, and Nick Gage just coming in to save the day and doing an actual fucking like murder on Effie.
Even though Spring Break this year was like, it wasn't as like stupid silly as you thought it would be like every other year. Like the matches that were on the card are matches you still didn't think you wanted to see. But then when they got announced, you're like, oh fuck. Like,
this was really good.
This was so much better than it should have ever been.
Nice.
So
yeah. Mackie Death Kill. I hope that's not the only time we get Mackie Death Kill in an actual match.
just
I do.
Just to get them all just coming in
I-
together.
I do enjoy when Mackie Ito does Nick Cage's entrances on GC. It's the fucking best thing ever. Shall we talk about DDT next, seeing as there's just one?
Just one. The pheromones. Oh, now, if you don't know about the pheromones, I'm warning you now. This match is match of the year for me. this is if you've ever heard of a match, Troy, right, that has the ending is a no contest because a man gets fully naked.
I thought it was stoppage.
So it was
I thought it was referee stoppage because he checked Nakazawa's arm.
No, it was complete thrown out the window. Right? Because a man got fully naked at the end, laid on top of a man's face with his balls on said face. I'm not even joking you.
Why?
Yes.
To pass out with all the ball sweat, okay? Right, come on.
You watch some absolute fucking detritus, don't you?
And
fuck about.
This is literally like the fucking one of the top feuds in DDT.
Right.
It was
Pheromones feuding with Sanshiro Takagi, who's like the president of DDT.
Michael Nakazawa, who is in AEW all the time. You seen him have a man's balls on his face and pass out with them on said face. Yeah. It sounds so shit, but you have to watch it because the context is fun. I can't describe it. Not even just the ending, just during the match, people progressively get more naked and naked.
Yeah, it was fucking wild. It was a sight to behold, to be sure. Both Pheromones matches were.
I picked this one because this one for me was the better one over the busy one.
But both ended in no contest because they were too sexy.
They were literally the busy.
Who was in it? Right said Fred.
No, it was. I'm gonna get his name up because I know his nickname's literally Sexy.
Yeah,
Big Sexy Kevin Nash.
They literally come out in dressing gouns.
Yeah, dressing gowns and banana hammocks.
I'll be sure to watch that one.
You've got to.
You've got to.
I didn't say I wouldn't. I literally just told you I'll be sure to watch it.
Don't sell that shit, sure.
Yeah. I will make you watch it and I'll watch along if need be.
Oh, joy.
Mate, we won't get that on YouTube. Ryan was literally like, had to leave the show afterwards because he was too excited after that match.
Fuck about.
He literally went home after that match.
So the team, Pheromones, is the team of Danshoku, Dandy Dino, and Yuki Sexy Ino.
There you go.
And Yuki Sexy Ino basically just wears a jock strap and he's got like the most muscular ass I've ever seen in my life. Mainly because he gets things like
so naked.
He gets things shoved in it and like crushes it like a fucking people's noses like a fucking grape.
Fucking hell.
And there's no hair on him whatsoever apart from his head.
He's so smooth.
He's so smooth.
Right. What other matches have you got? Fucking hell.
Should we keep it with DDT and talk about DDT GCW?
Yeah.
Because we've got two. There's two we've got on there. Let's do the like actual wrestling match first.
The normal one, yeah.
Yeah, we've got Moonlight Express, which is the team of Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Mao, who haven't tagged together for 3 years. First time it was meant to be a one-off, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Against East West Express, the team of Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. This was the show before spring break. This was the match where Nick Wayne got bust open real fucking bad. And it was an absolute banger. It was so fun. Did Moonlight win this? I can't remember. I feel like Moonlight won.
East West Express pinned Speedball.
Oh, did they?
That was the shot because that Speedball.
Oh shit! Yeah,
because
Big Tasty was shocked about it, and then it was like, yeah, like, Speedball got pinned by Jordan Oliver like literally like a month ago.
Yeah, Speedball took the pin.
Yeah. This was really fun. I think Mao might have been my favorite kind of like wrestler I wasn't aware of that I've learned of this weekend.
Yeah, he is very Speedball vibes without even being a tag team with him. He's very
great.
Yeah.
But also at times he was like a bit like stupid comedy wrestler. Like he had a tag match with Yoshihiko and another match which we'll talk about in a minute. And yeah, he was just fun, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Really like this. Yeah, just really good work, great tag match. East to West Express are very good.
On the very same show, we got a complete fucking war.
This was like one of the closest to a death match we got, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just a 6-man brawl in an arena with Lego and plastic cases, like plastic Tupperware boxes, but the big ones for like under your bed. Yeah,
the big boys.
See what I didn't know. If you smack one of them like off your
they shatter.
Head, they completely shatter and make the most horrid noise possible.
Oh, they're fucking red rank, mate.
Matthew just got powerbomb through a stack of them.
Well, I've seen enough of them.
That's disgusting.
Also, Ryan nearly got killed in this match by Manders.
Yeah, we seen Ryan running away because there was a fight. So Ryan was like circling him, trying to avoid.
He was like leaning against the wall, wasn't he? And then one of the guys threw one like Manders into the wall. If you haven't seen one like Manders, he's just a big cowboy hoss.
Yeah.
And like Ryan like moves. I've never seen Ryan move as quick as that in my entire life. He like dived up the way.
The fact that this was second gear crew and Chris Brooks, like 4 people I'm not the biggest fan of. The other 2 I don't really know about.
Every time Mance Warner's in the Ukrainian Cultural Center, he bleeds buckets, and this was no exception. Yeah, this was just fucking wild, wasn't it? It was about 35 minutes, wasn't it?
It was a long time, but it was worth it. Like it didn't stop. There was no slow point. There was 6 men to cover it, and the thing is, this was like one of the few matches where they had like a split screen most of the time, so you could see everything that was happening.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that was good. I like that.
It was fucking wild, wasn't it? What do you want to do next? You want to do world?
Get your emo fight out of the way, because I didn't care anything about it. I didn't watch it.
Did you watch it?
No, because as soon as I got told it was. Most of it was like either wrestling that was all right or bad, like live bands.
Don't waste your time with the bands; they were all shit. And it very much the show had a feel of the commentary team just wanting to go to bed because it was like midnight their time.
Yeah.
And then so basically emo fights. Everyone kind of like dresses up like emos. They come out to like emo songs. So you had Wasted Youth coming out to a acoustic song by A Day to Remember called, if you bear with me, If It Means a Lot to You, which is like literally they had like a sing along with like lighters and all kinds. The entire song, and everyone was like sort of like holding up the lighters and singing along. Then you got Los Maquisos coming out, dressed all emoed up. We got Miedo Extremo. They came out to My Immortal while Wasted Youth were like crying in the corner. And then we got the surprise teaming up of Moonlight Express again, which was Speedball Mike Bailey and Mal Chemical Romance. And basically, like Vader Scott, who's Speedball's wife, said on commentary, Mal found out there was an emo show and politicked his way onto the show. And he was fucking wild in this match. So it started off with Mal doing a sing-along of I Miss You by Blink-182 to see if everyone else was emo. And then he handed it to Los Maquisos and they didn't know the words. So he was like, "You're not emo, get him!" It basically proceeded to be Los Maquisos doing murders on the two emo teams. Also, putting out Speedball Mike Bailey as an emo was basically Speedball Mike Bailey with a bit of eyeliner on. Yeah, Moonlight Express won. It was a really, really fun match. Just loads of flippy bollocks. Nice. And Los Maquisos doing murders through doors. All that you want to see.
Door murder.
Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
if you watch one Matrimino fight, probably make it that. The scramble was fun, but this was really fun.
Okay.
Cool. Should we do the Jimmy Lloyd's Degeneration?
Yeah, boy. You're
And
messing with a different boy. Sadly, we're not talking about him because
don't worry about it.
He was a bit naff apart from murdering a child. But
we're still talking about Wasted Youth, though, who really impressed me this weekend, to be fair. Every time I saw them, they had like bangers. The team of was it Marcus Mathers and Dylan McKay?
Yes.
Yeah. They teamed up. This was meant to be Best Bros, Wasted Youth, CPF, and East West Express. East West Express went in the match for some reason, but they were replaced by Bang Bros, the team you should not Google.
Bang Bros, one Egyptian, one Asian woman. Yes.
Yeah.
No, legit.
Yeah, May Segura and I can't remember the guy's name. They've been in AEW a few times. The part of Emi Sakura's entourage in AEW. But they were really, and I think they might have been my favorite part of the match because
genuinely it was just the guy threw either everyone about or threw the little Asian woman about. And then the little Asian woman was screaming in either terror or excitement.
There was a really good bit. Obviously, Troy, CPF, the team of Joe Lando and Danny Black. There was a bit where, like, Danny Black, where the guy had May Segura on his shoulders. Balianaki, he's called. He had May Segura on his shoulders, and Danny Black didn't know who to chop. So he'd like chop the big guy, and then she'd like just dig him, and then he just looked really confused, and then he'd do it again, and she'd just dig him. Joe Lando got the soul chopped out of him multiple times. He looked like he was having a real shit time, and it was just wild, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was about 25 minutes of just madness. It was really fun.
They flew through the card, and we were like, "What? It's weird that they've like." Just went through all this, and then they gave this main event just time. I was like, oh, fair enough. To be fair, it was worth it. Like, that's why we're talking about it. This 4-way like match between 8 men there was always something constantly happening. There was never a slow moment. That's what you want in a multi-man match.
Yeah. There was a lot of just crazy spots, but it was really fun. Again, one of them where it's like just go and watch it.
Speaking of crazy spots,
are we going to talk about the trios match first?
Yeah.
So let's go to the World on Lucha, which me and Big Tasty, when we were speaking about it the other day, think this might have been show of the weekend. As far as like there wasn't a bad match on, even matches that weren't like great were still just quite fun. Like Tony Deppen wrestled Negro Casas, who's like a 61-year-old luchador.
That was the one match I wasn't a fan of on the card, but it was like a proper wrestling match.
But even that was like still cool because it was like Tony Deppen was being a piece of shit, but you could see that he also was like, I'm wrestling Negro Casas. This is fucking wild.
Like, really humble to wrestle him, sort of thing.
Yeah. And to be fair, for the guy his age, I think he said it was either 61 or 64.
61 it was, yeah.
He wasn't the only 61-year-old on the card, and he was wrestling like he was like in his 40s or like his late 30s. He could go.
He was good. He did.
He was in insane shape as well. Like when they said how old he was, I was like, fuck off. No, he isn't. No way. But yeah, this was probably the standout for as far as like just fast-paced action goes. And it was the team of Black Taurus, Latigo and Arez versus Commander Rey Horus and Aramis. And it was fucking wild. It was essentially 5 high flyers and then Black Taurus is just a big fucking murder horse who can still fly.
Yeah.
And he's just like throwing the lads around and just diving on them and hitting ranas. It was about 15 minutes of just non-stop madness. It was so fucking good. All these guys just do silly shit. Like Commander, I've never seen anyone like him. He can just walk along the ropes like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Arrest is just insane. He just appears out of nowhere half the time and lands on people. Ray Horus had a really good showing in this match. Black Taurus, as I say, just a big murder horse, throws the little guys around. It was fucking mental.
Yeah.
It was just wild. Destroyers for days. And then the final one that we've got here. I think you do have another match you want to talk about.
I would, yes, but
we'll do this, and you can.
World on Lucha is definitely match of the World on Lucha for me. Anyway, like it was so unexpected. I don't remember seeing the first one.
We watched the first two matches and then kind of like tapped out because we were asleep. And then, oh, sorry, you mean the first World on Lucha show?
No, the first one of Gringo Loco versus Psycho Clowns. This was the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, me and Troy did a watch along of that the other day.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, the first one. There
Very
you go.
good it was too.
It was also a Falls Count Anywhere match like this, and like in comparison to this, that one was tame and that one was fucking wild.
Yeah, this fight was fucking brutal, but it was good. I was invested.
Oh, I love this.
The fact that Gringo Loco threatened to kick a like 6-year-old
Psycho Clown's
boy
child
in the face before the match started.
Fuck about.
Yeah. And then he partway through the match he ripped Psycho Clown's mask open, got a pair of scissors and started stabbing him in the head with them.
But he also ended up getting himself stabbed and a bit too much.
He was a fucking mess. Gringo Loco looked like he'd been in a fucking car accident after this match.
Gringo Loco was literally trying to put bits of paper on his head to stop like blood pissing everywhere.
He had not even, it wasn't even toilet roll anymore. It was like actual paper.
Yeah.
Wrapped around his head to stop the blood.
It didn't work, Troy, is what happened.
No, well, paper's not the most absorbent material for cuts it.
Yeah.
So you have a fucking bandage. Jesus.
And then just to make it more wild, Psycho Clown brought breeze blocks into it.
Cool.
Yeah, they had a door with breeze blocks, thumbtacks, and was the tubes on as well?
Yes, they were. Yes.
Yeah. Psycho Clown hit a Spanish fly through it, landed on the breeze blocks himself, and then Gringo Loco just rolled him up.
Is that right? That's what the finish was meant to be. We were a bit confused when we watched it live on what the finish actually was.
I think Psycho Clown like legitimately broke his ribs.
Yeah, it looked
because
weird.
He was screaming in pain, and then Gringo Loco just quickly rolled him up. It's like fuck. But everything
after taking the move,
wild.
After taking the most batshit move possible, he like had to no sell it to finish the match. Essentially, it looked like anyway. I don't know if that's what they meant to do. It looked like something went wrong.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. It was such a good match.
The fact that this match had a bad finish, but because of injury or whatnot, like the match itself was still fantastic and mental. So.
Yeah,
nice. What's this last one you've got for us,
right?
Then, mate?
The doll, as Ryan keeps calling it, Yoshihiko.
Yes.
Now, we've seen Yoshihiko in our podcast. There's a watch along of the Yoshihiko versus Kota Ibushi. Now,
Troy looks so upset with you right now.
I've seen it. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
you just looked really upset.
The Cole Radrick versus Yoshihiko is good, but I much prefer the tag team match with
the tag match was fantastic.
Weirdly enough, with Chris Brook as its tag partner. Where they are against
it was Mao and somebody else. We basically put all three of Mao's matches in this list.
So basically, because the issue with the Cole Radrick Yoshihiko one was it was all Yoshihiko. Like you didn't, so that you always had to watch the doll like doing whatever. Whereas the tag team match, you had like bits. And you had actual wrestling in it as well. Yeah,
Chris Brooks and Mao had a banger, and then you had like Yoshihiko coming in and like drilling Mao with the DDT.
Like it was fun. The tag match is a much better one. That was on DDT Goes Hollywood because it was the first show. Because the Cole Radrick one main evented the next one. So go watch that just for the doll because we fucking love the doll on this podcast. Even though Ryan keeps calling it the doll, and now so am I. Just for
I was going to say,
effect.
you just said it's the doll.
Just for effect.
Also, we did get a Yoshihiko cameo at Spring Break where Paro tried to pile driver it and it reversed it into a German suplex on Paro.
Lovely.
And then Yoshihiko and Jimmy Lloyd stood tall over Charles Mason and Paro.
Super. Right.
Go watch all of the collective if you can, because there's we've only picked a handful of matches because we could literally talk about it for hours.
We could have picked so many more.
There was a lot of really great matches we've not spoke about. On the DDT one alone, there was 2 matches that for people who aren't familiar with like all of the wrestlers there, like Eddie Kingston had a tag match on it.
Those 2 shows have opened my eyes to DDT.
Yeah. It was just a really good selection of wrestling, and that's before we even talk about Ring of Honor. That was banging. That was a really fucking solid card. Just a good week of wrestling and WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to quickly mention anything about Ring of Honor, or was that on the news?
It's on the news.
We did a full review of it on the news. I'll just say watch Vikingo versus Commander because they're witches, and Eddie Kingston versus Claudio was very, very, very good.
All right then.
And the ladder match was bonkers, but get well soon, Dante Martin.
There we go. Absolutely. Right. That was Mania weekend, collective weekend, wrapped up in a nice little bow as much as we could. There was an awful lot of wrestling, a hell of a lot more than we spoke about. But to your point a moment ago, just go and watch everything and anything from the collective.
That's what you're going to do now, is
when I've stopped playing Doctor, yeah. I've got a house full of ill people, myself included. But yes, I will be watching it, absolutely. Thank you for joining us, folks. We do appreciate it. If you don't already, please do feel free to give us a subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast, and Twitter, Twitch, and Discord at Untitled Rest Pod. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you agreed, disagreed with our scores, our thoughts and stuff. And we'll see you again soon for another review. Bye.
Bye.